Hi all, welcome back to more D-Day at Tarawa. This is part 10 of the full playthrough in 2 days in hell. That's what, isn't it? 2 days in hell? Yeah. Okay, so where we're at. So nothing to land this turn. However, we do still look through the amphibious operations phase. Also, we don't need to assign LVTs, we don't need to do landing checks. We do now have to wade ashore though. So, this guy's going to wade. It's better if he gets into that box, then he's getting out of Green's fire. And that's still moving him close. So he's 1, 2, 3, 4 hexes away, so that's fine. So 1, 2, so he's going to move into there. So that's all the wading ashore needed. And then we recover LVTs, none of that to be done. Place new units. Place units scheduled to arrive in the next turn and the beach approach hex is indicated on the unit. Turn 5 plus. Beach approach R2D and R3D are available. Just as well, I noticed that. Although I think we might have had to look at it because it's quite a big stack of units, isn't there? So that says turn 5 plus, but obviously these are going to land on turn 6, but we do need to set these out now. That's right, isn't it? I'm getting that bit right. Place unit scheduled to arrive next turn. Yeah, we're on turn 5, so next turn's turn 6, and you can see there's a big stack there. This is the main of our force going to come in now. So let's have a look at this and see where they're going to go. Okay, there's all the units to land. These are all landing in R3, and these are all landing from R2. Remember, we've got access to this box and this box, which I think we might need it when you see the amount of units, because there's nothing landing in R1 according to what I'm reading here. So yeah, so well, to be honest, there's probably enough forces across there just now. Now you might still technically get a pivot right from here and something else coming in from R2, I suppose. Curious to know. I'm assuming, I don't know, or does this automatically pivot as well? This hex maybe? Not sure. Now looking at our LVTs, come the time, we've got 1 full strength LVT and 3 1-steps. So there's not going to be much getting ashore. Now there is 2 tanks in this selection, so they won't require LVTs. So I don't know. My guess is probably the full strength one's going to pick up one of these heavy infantries, maybe to get it ashore first. Then, well, I don't know, we could use 2 for the other full strength infantry, and we could use 1 to transport one of the engineers in, I suppose. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of weight on. Yeah, not enough lot of LVTs left. Looks like I might have had a really bad result with that, but I don't know. It might compare with a lot of other games that's what you end up with at this stage. Okay, so let me try and work out, I'll just press pause and we'll see where we're going to put these. Okay, going to go with something like this, I think. I was wondering, I was trying to see there if there's a limit to the stacking on the beach approach hexes. I can't see anything that tells me otherwise, and the stacking limit is meant to be 2 units per hex, so I'm just going to do that. It's just I might have stacked them slightly different if there wasn't a limit, because most of these are going to have to wade anyway. So I'm probably going to be landing this, and this guy underneath is going to wade, so I don't also want to try and create, well, it's going to be difficult not to create concentrated targets, I suppose. That's 4 steps, that's 1 step, that does create 5 steps, but you can't avoid some of this, I think. So we're probably going to land that. There's a tank, we're going to land that. Again, when he's... Assuming he goes in straight in, he's going to go into there and concentrate that hex. However, I'm saying concentrate these hexes. These units might have moved or had something happen to them as well, you know. That's a point though. Maybe I should put the tank in here. Yeah. Yeah, maybe put the tank in there. And then put these in here, because these are just going to wade in anyway. And then if the tank lands, if it lands normally, it's going to land in there. It's maybe a better spot for it. Rather than concentrating this hex, assuming he's still got the 4 steps. Right, so I think the only things we're going to land from this side are the heavy infantry unit there and the tank. I'm not going to spend the other LVT point on these. I'm just going to let these guys wade in. Like I said, don't really want them away along here, but I'm not sure if I'm allowed to stack. Well, you could have stacked one there, Grant, with a tank. Yeah, let's do that. Because I'm not going to, like I say, land any of them anyway. I do have 1 step free, so I'll leave that one there, but I was thinking of using that on the other side. So over here, same again. Not good landing spots here, because that's an intense yellow, that's an intense brown. We've got a yellow position there, a brown position, but at the moment it's disrupted. But I mean, I've got this landing hex here, which is going into brown, this landing hex here, which is going into the yellow, and these 2 across here, which are going in around here. But well, these are going to wade, so I don't need to worry about that. Yeah, I think that's fine. So this guy's probably going to get landed. I was thinking, yeah, no, that I'm going to land this, but I'm possibly going to spend another point to land that as well, the engineer unit. It does mean that if they go in normally, they're going to land in there, so. And then this guy will just wade in, so. Yeah. I could have put one of them. Wonder if I should put one of them across here. No, I think I'll leave these 2 across this side. Yeah, because they're going to wade. They've got to head for the closest. That's what I've got to watch. So because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is their closest. But if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so I can't head for there, or there from there. But I can't start moving towards, because this is further away, so I can't start moving towards this one. So it does mean I'm going to have to land in there. But I don't think that's a bad spot to maybe try and get into. In fact, that looks like it's steady yellow, that hex there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's kind of perfect. Ooh, would that not be a good place to land, Grant? Let me think about this. Is it worth considering putting the infantry unit I'm going to land across there? I think it is, isn't it? Yeah, I think it is. So I think I'm going to switch these over and see if we can get that guy landed into here. It is steady yellow, isn't it? Yeah, it's not so easy to see. It is, yeah. Well, for my eyes anyway. Yeah, because that would be a good place to end up, actually. So, and the tank, well, yeah, I don't want the tank going into the same bit, because then it concentrates the hex. Right, okay, go with that. It does mean he's probably going to be down here on his own, this guy, but if you can take that guy out, then you can see it's a nice little area, a whole lot of nothing there. I mean, a whole lot of nothing for now until we've just drawn the R action, so it'll not be long before these start reinforcing. So, right, go with that. We'll go with that. Okay, so that's the amphibious operations phase done. We're going to move on to an event. Yeah, and that's us going to be landing. That's us, all our units, until we get right through to the extended part of the game, and turn 17 is the next time you get some units to land. So that's what we've got to play with. Okay, event, right, well, we didn't get a good one last time. We did get, it was just one depth marker, but, so let's even get a good one here. This is turn 5, so here we go. Turn 5, 2 to 10. Oh no, transport delayed. Place all units in beach approach hexes. Oh, you're having a laugh. Oh. Place all units in beach approach hexes 2 spaces ahead on the turn track. That's brutal. Oh. Why couldn't I have just drawn that next turn? All that working out what I was going to do with them. Well, that's got to be one of the worst I've had. I mean, it's the timing of it. It's the timing of it. It's happening when I'm introducing the most of my units. Even the other 2 stacks of units that I'm going to get later in the game weren't as big as a stack, and now they're going to be delayed by 2 turns. I think that might well, I don't know. That could quite possibly mean that we are going to struggle to get onto the extended game, I think. Man, okay, it's only 2 turns. That one's a bit harsh. Again, like I say, the timing of it. Well, yeah, I mean, that could have happened in turn 6, right the way through to turn 16. It wouldn't even bother me a bit. So we're on turn 5, 6, 7, so it's going to be turn 7 before these guys all come back. So when I move into turn 6, is that right now? They were set out to land on turn 6, or do they go to turn 8? No, because I'm going to be setting them out on turn 6 to land on turn 7, which is 2 turns ahead. Is that right? Does that work out right? I've put them 2 turns. It says place all units in beach approach hexes 2 spaces ahead on the turn track. Well, we're there, so 1, 2. So that's where they've got to go. So it's actually not delaying them. Well, they were going to actually land on turn 6. Now they're actually going to land on turn 7. So it is only delaying them by 1 turn, isn't it? Why does that feel kind of off if I have to move them 2 spaces ahead? It feels like it should be delaying them by 2 turns, but it seems to only be delaying them by 1. Or is it just, it's just the way the turn track works, I think, isn't it? Because you place the units out for the next turn. Yeah, so I'm going to place the units out for in turn 6, and then when we move into turn 7, we're actually going to do the land-ins on them. Yeah, so they're only getting delayed by a turn then, which is bad enough, I think. Okay, didn't like that one. Right, well, that means there's not going to be much to do next turn. Well, we're just going to play with what we've got. And the fact, not only that, the fact that most of them are having to come in, wade ashore, so 2 hexes, just move 2 hexes a turn. It's kind of, yeah, that's a big blow, I think. Okay, well, it's happened. Right, we're going to move on to the Japanese fire phase. Nothing changed up. Well, I put the new letter. We drew that just at the end of the last video, just so I remember to do it. So we do have the R action now involved, which isn't good, but no, they're all not good. So I don't know if there's some better than the others, but so we're just going to draw this card and get on with it, Grant. I think so. Oh, I did say I was going to talk about John's comments, didn't I? Just run through them briefly. Maybe do that before this fire phase. I should have done it at the start, to be honest. Right, so these are from part 3. And basically just John putting little reminders in there, just people watching. And he's got a timestamp and explaining some bits that I'm maybe not explaining completely. So at the 18-minute 50-second mark, he says, indeed, at Tarawa, double fire symbol also fires if a position group is occupied by 2 or more units. We eventually worked that one out, and that's how we ended up with this double in the purple here, when there was a unit here and a unit here. Rather than having a unit stacked with a depth marker, these 2 being occupied can create that double fire symbol. 28-minute mark, he says the change is in 15.2 under the extended game rules. I think I eventually get around to that as well. And this is when I'm talking about, I think this is I'm pointing out when I'm scratching my head at first, wondering about if the US units may lose more than a single step in a single Japanese fire phase. So he goes on to quote 15.2, which I eventually get around to finding, don't I? So a US unit may lose more than 1 step in a single Japanese fire phase when hit by fire from more than 1 Japanese position. Limits to 6.34 do not apply in the extended game. However, a US unit may lose no more than 1 step by fire from a single position or position group in a single phase, and then the exception is the tank with the multi-fire. He does add a wee edit there that I'll talk about in the next part. So but it's nice to see it there. It is good for people watching, thinking, if they want to play the game. Right, anyway. 32-minute 30-second mark. It was indeed at Omaha Beach, but the double symbol still required a depth mark. Oh, it was indeed at Omaha Beach, but the double symbol still required a depth marker. Even if both positions of a 2x WM position were occupied, they would only fire if one or both of those WM hexes had depth. Alright, okay, so that was quite a bit different then. Yeah, okay. 42-minute 45-second mark. All units start with Major Ryan get a free action. He's like a mini zero range HQ. Yeah, eventually I think picked that one up. Not that we've really managed. I mean, the danger with that is like creating a concentrated target, I suppose. But I mean, this unit's only got 3 steps in it now, so I could have a single step unit in there and not have that issue. But anyway, that's just him pointing out that he can give out free moves to everybody. He's different from a normal hero. This was one I wanted to look up, 8.66. This is at the 1 hour, 11 minute and 30 second mark, 8.66. Yeah, it says if cards remain undrawn at the conclusion of a close combat, return the undrawn cards to the top of the card deck. Okay, yeah, I thought it did say it somewhere. So this John pointing out that it does specify to return unused close combat cards, but does not specify the order. That said, I tend to do exactly as you do and get them back in the reverse order they came off the draw deck. Japanese cards, then US cards. Okay, so I think he goes about it the same as me. I think as long as you're going about it the same way every time. And to be honest, it's a random deck of cards. Probably if you do it one way at one time and then a different way the next time, that wouldn't sit well with me. But it's still a random bunch of cards, so it probably wouldn't make any odds. And that's probably why they don't put too much into that. But it does say the cards do go back. You wouldn't just discard them, you can put them back on top of the deck. At the hour and 19-minute mark, 10-second mark, they have updated the rules as they went along. So if you have a more recent printout, your rulebook may already contain the addenda. Yeah, I think I mentioned that. My rulebook has not, but I've got the online version. I could have it on my tablet here if need be. He says, I know the online rulebook has most, if not all, the addenda, since it too says that if the US draws a reinforced CC event, it's treated as no event. Yeah. Used to be bad for you no matter who drew that event. Yeah, I remember that as well. It was pretty bad. He carries on, and this is at the same timestamp, so I'm not quite sure. I'm not clicking to see the bits. He says, yep, I believe the Japanese unit does get a depth marker. I contend that it is only the resolution of the depth marker that is delayed when revealed during CC. It can also happen if the depth marker was removed in a previous CC step. Okay, I think my record is churning through 3 depth markers in a single CC. Okay, definitely a hilarious turn of events. Maybe you'll break my record. Alright, okay, I see that's what you're saying. His record is going through 3 different depth markers in a single CC. Yeah, and that was, we went through 2, didn't we? Because we got tactical reinforcement, then tactical reinforcement. But you could see how you could, yeah, if they draw the reinforce, they draw the depth, they put depth on themselves again. So, mind you must have had a lot of cards drawn if you like got through 3 of them, wouldn't you? You would need to have, well, not, yeah. I suppose that would mean them drawing 2 reinforced events or something. Anyway, okay, so no, all good stuff and all nicely timestamped. Thanks for that, John. It's yeah, it's always good to have that there. Even like I said, there's nothing about any no sort of mistakes that I've made, which is great. Obviously, that's not what I want to be reading. Yeah, okay, so good stuff. Let's move on now. Yeah, let's get a Japanese 5 phase. Why not? We're disappointed after that event, but can't get any worse, can it? Yeah, right. Okay, so we've got the A action and the R action now. Here we go. Artillery's in play. Oh dear, I spoke too soon there. So that's going to be looking for 1 heavy plus 4 of any other. So that's going to happen. We have the R action on a single green. We don't have the A action. Yellow's going to be a double yellow. It's going to have armour. Right, well, right away, pretty sure this hex here is going to reinforce. We talked about this already. It's green, it's unoccupied, it's in communication. So I think we're going to get a unit there. Yeah, but like I say, you can't, these things are going to happen. You've just got to plod on. Okay, let's stick with how we've decided we're going to do it now, and just work everything right to left. Just keeping an eye on the lettered actions. The only one involved is the R this time. Now, I will just double check. So R, what's the R actions? Yeah, so there's quite a lot. In fact, they've got something happening in every, even if it's an occupied coastal position, they're not necessarily going to fire. They might just place depth. Yeah. And then obviously if they're unoccupied, they're looking to reinforce. Like I've said. Need to be in communication. Yes. Okay. I'll look over when we come across it. But we do need to keep an eye out for empty green positions. And this is an empty one. It's not that it's linked. This one up here is not. Again, it's not within 2 of a US unit, so there's not an issue. But that one, I believe, nobody said anything yet. I still believe that is considered to be occupied because part of the position group is occupied. And going by the word I read, that seemed to be how it worked. And it rings bells with me too from playing the game previously. Okay, well we've got this one guy in the water, Here's a circle, so let's not worry about him. Even though yellow and brown are firing, here's a circle. He's looking for a diamond, so not happening. This is in yellow. Now, the yellow's got to be double. However, that's a triangle. That's a circle. This is in blue. Blue's not firing. So we're all good there. This is in blue and yellow. Blue's not firing, but the yellow is actually coming from here. So nothing doing there. This is in yellow, nothing doing there. So all okay up to now. This is in yellow. There's a diamond. Oh, it's double. It's double yellow, Grant. It's double yellow. We've scored there. This guy was getting hit because he's a diamond. He's in steady yellow fire from this position. However, this is only a single position, and it's needing to be a double position, or it needs to have depth. And that one does not have either. This would get fire from green. Okay, but we're about to deal with that. Yellow, and what is that? That's a brown. Yeah, brown's coming from there. The green's coming from there, which is empty at the moment. And the yellow's there, right? So nothing's happened to him either. But now we get to this empty position, right? So I'll probably just take this from the rule book. But on the chart, that is it an inland position? That is actually, isn't it? It's not adjacent to a beach hex. That is not a beach hex, I don't think. See, it's not marked. I think that, well, that one's coastal and that's inland. I think. Or is that adjacent to beach hex? I don't know. I mean, there's no water there. It just kind of crosses the... I don't know if you can see that. I think the fact that that's not marked with anything, like it needs to be marked with an artillery symbol or a C, didn't it? For us to set these up. See, because that's a C. That's a C. And that's adjacent to a beach hex because you see there's a bit of water in that hex. But that one is not adjacent. I think that's not a beach hex. So that does suggest that's an inland hex and that one's not then. Right. Does it really matter to this action? Probably not. Well, if it was unoccupied within 2 hexes of a US unit in a coastal position, it would reinforce, but only if it was zone D, E, and F. Well, that is F, so that would apply, but I'm pretty sure this is an inland position. And the rule for the inland position is unoccupied in Japanese communication and within 2 hexes of a US unit, which it is. We're going to reinforce by placing a reserve unit and a depth marker in the position. And then once we reach turn 11, it will then also fire at us. Lovely. So, reinforce that. I'm just going to check the rule book. Reinforce action. Unoccupied position, Japanese communication when 2 hexes of a US unit. If a coastal position, it must be zone D, E, or F. Place a reserve unit and a depth marker in the position. If multiple hexes in a position group are eligible for the reinforced action, place a reserve unit and depth marker in the lowest numbered eligible hex only. Okay. So if for some reason we weren't in this hex and you had the choice of reinforcing both, let's just say I was in there, you could reinforce the both. You wouldn't reinforce the both, you would just you would place the reserve and depth marker in the lowest numbered. So it would be F7 rather than F9. If there are more positions eligible for reinforcements than available reserve units, place the units in the hexes that are closest to US units. If no depth markers are available, place a reserve unit alone. Coastal position in zone A, B and C are not eligible for the reinforced action. Okay, so that's what's happening. This is going to reinforce, so we get a... right. I do need to know for sure, because it's going to be the depth marker is either going to be inland or coastal. I'm pretty sure you're right, Grant, but it's just... I guess the bit that's maybe sort of concerning me is the fact that this one's coastal and this one's not. And maybe that's what's bothering me. And I think beach hexes have to contain some water, and you can see that it's just not got any water. Let me see, does it give a description of coastal or beach hex? Beach hex has got to have some water, I think. I thought I'd just try and take the easy way out and go to BGG. Somebody does ask the question, what's the difference between coastal and inland? Martin references the rule 2.1 in the rule book. I figured it would be at the beginning somewhere. 2.1, where are we? Yeah, 2.1 is the map. He quotes the actual rule as well. Hang on. No. Right, hang on. Yeah, so it is in there, it's just buried in a little bit. So he points out all positions in or adjacent to beach heads are coastal positions. All other positions are inland positions. He also notes, it's worth noting that position B4 is set up from the start and is actually an inland position. So where is that? Where is B4? Let's have a look. It's up there. I'm sure he said B4. Ah, he must have meant B3. Well, actually, maybe it is B3. Give me a second. It's worth noting that one coastal unit starts the game in B4. Well, he has said B4, but it is B3, isn't it? So that started there because it's got the L, but you can see that's not adjacent to beach hex. Right. Am I going to look? Yeah, one little look for something else. Hang on. I thought I'd just have one little look just to sort of confirm if any talk about this height's been beach hex. Actually, the one that I did find was somebody was saying this was a beach hex. He was talking about some strategy involved, and he called this a safe beach hex, I think. But I don't think that's a beach hex. I think that's an inland position, and in fact, yeah, I mean, if I look at all, well, that's not true, Grant. Yeah, I'm saying that all the positions that we place stuff in would have the L or the C, but that's not, they weren't all filled up with that, were they? I mean, this didn't get a unit, but this is a coastal hex. There's nothing, it's not marked. And so is this, and it's got the artillery, but that's for the starting hexes, isn't it? But that is a coastal hex, it's adjacent to a beach hex. Right. I'm starting to wonder if you would class this as a beach hex then. I think the hex has got to show some water, and you can see the actual hex is just completely, there's no water at all. I'm going to treat that as inland, okay? The good thing might be, well, maybe not necessarily so, because we've got units adjacent, so we might be seeing it sooner than we think. That if the video goes out there, I could probably switch the depth marker across, because the unit's going to be the same. So I'm going to take an inland depth marker, which is worse for me as well. I'm pretty sure they're worse, they're harder. So I'm going to go with the inland depth marker. Let me know your thoughts. I mean, it's debatable, I think. I want to say that's probably the only hex that I can see in the game. I mean, even, see if you look at that one up there. I mean, maybe I'm being picky here, but I mean, there's not enough a lot of water in that hex, but there's a little bit, right? And that one, there is none. Is there anything else that's similar? Right, there's a few along here, but again, they're showing a little bit of water. See 13110 here, showing a little bit of water. In fact, these ones all up here are showing a little bit of water. Yeah, this one, yeah, maybe not sure. There's plenty of water in these ones, isn't there? And just by that, what I mean is, there's the definition on the terrain key here. You can see that clear is the middle one there. It's just clear. It's got the same colour. Airstrip is the sort of whiter bit. So you've got a sort of cream colour for the clear and the pure white for the airstrip. It doesn't show up that well there, but I'll show you in the map in a second. And you can see beach there has got a little bit of water. So, and yeah, just showing you, there's the airstrip ones where they're kind of white, and the other ones that are clear are sort of, you know, I'm not so sure the difference when it comes down to the difference between the two anyway. Okay, well we'll call it an inland hex then, but I get the feeling that's bothered me before actually, but then I've not had a recording of this game out, so it might have just been while I was playing it myself. It's just the one hex, it just doesn't have, you know, that's adjacent to the shore that just doesn't have any water. So, you know what? I'm going to chuck a question out. Why not? I think it's inland. I'm going to take that, and then we're going to get a reserve unit. Now, I shuffled them about a while ago. I have no idea which one, because we put one of them back quite recently, didn't we? I have no idea what one's what. So, yeah, I'm likely to knock them over if I faff about. So I'm just going to draw this one, because it is going. It is going, so unrevealed, isn't it? I'm pretty sure it's not going to be revealed. That would be kind of silly, I think, Grant. Right, sorry, I got dragged away there. So been on pause for quite a bit. Just before I hit record there again, I had not a clue where I was, but it's all coming back to me now. Well, one of the reasons it's coming back to me is I had gone and asked a question about this position, and in fact, and whether it should be inland or coastal, because it's sort of borderline, you know, that you know, it doesn't show any water on the hex side. I suppose it's got the sort of grey as if it's the you know, as if it's the very shore part and whatever. So I thought it's worthwhile asking the question. Unfortunately, I didn't word the question terribly well at first, because I understand that a coastal position needs to be adjacent to a beach hex. And basically I basically just kept it simple and says, look, is F9 a coastal or inland hex? And Tom came back. Tom, I think he was possibly one of the original playtesters, or he's been involved in quite a lot of he probably was involved in playtesting in the DDAT series. He's answered questions going way back. Yeah, knows his stuff. Came back and explained that it needs to be adjacent to a beach hex, so therefore it is a coastal hex. So then I reworded the question to say, okay, sorry, I should have reworded that. Is hex 1633? Is 1633 a beach hex? Because I can see that as being debatable, because the description on the terrain chart does show a little bit of water, and it's the only hex I can see on the map that doesn't have a little bit of water. However, it does have a good answer to this one. Or does he? Well, yeah, I think he does, Grant. I think. Well, hang on. Let's get his answer. Because I brought it across. Because he answered He answered also the question about D5, which is quite interesting. But we'll get to that. D5, right? We'll come back to that. So F9 position hex. So yeah, like I say, I was a bit brief with my question. Is position hex F9 a coastal or inland position? Tom comes back saying all positions in or adjacent to a beach hex are coastal positions per 2.1 the map. Japanese positions. F9 is adjacent to a beach hex. And then it says, hi Tom, I understand that a coastal position requires being adjacent to a beach hex. Maybe I should have made my question more clear. Is hex 1633 a beach hex? It includes no water. It seems to be the only hex on the map like this. So then he comes back and says, yes, 1633 is a beach hex. Since units starting from a beach approach hex, see 2.1 the map, US beach approach hexes, can get there without crossing any land. And this is where it becomes clear, doesn't it? Although there's not a... Well, you could say actually going from... no, you need to zoom out a bit, right? R1C here. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Right, so, but let's just say we drift one left. Would that get it? Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. And it would go in there left. So, is there anything that would... Hang on. Interestingly, I don't think there's a possibility of landing anything in that hex, because if it comes straight out here, you'll see this is a pier head. So we can't launch anything from there. This could have pivoted and gone that way. There's nothing that could have came, because you can't have a shift and a pivot, or that would have... No, that doesn't work either. No, because nothing can come from there. There's no left, rights from R1 that would reach that hex either. However, I'm maybe delving too much into this. Let's continue his answer. He says the map US beach approach hexes. Sorry, hang on. Yes, 1633 is a beach hex. Since units starting from a beach approach hex can get there without crossing any land, also known as beach, coastal, or inland hex. That the transition water to land occurs exactly on the hex side for this situation does not really create a non-beach hex. To paraphrase from a long ago court case, the court will not reach on such a hyperfine reading of the rules. So whether Tom's a bit of a, maybe is a lawyer in his day job, maybe, or something involved in the courts, but it might not be that. It might just be quoting something. So there you go. I'm going to go with it, although I'm looking about here to try and find a way where we can actually land on this hex, but that's not mean. If I started looking at all of these, I'm sure there's no way that everything could land on every one of these hexes. So if it was possible, and if we were to come down this row right down here, then that's where you would stop. That's where you would reach a beach, because that's not a beach hex. That becomes a beach hex. And you can't go from that to then, because that would then be classed as an inland one, wouldn't it? But you've not even reached the beach hex. So I'm going to go with that for sure. So we're going to change that up a little. That was still reinforcement, so that is not going to be an inland depth marker. And we're going to draw a coastal depth marker after all. So thanks for that one, Tom. You straightened me out after all, even though I still thought I had something in me. However, the next one, well, I'm waiting to see if they might come back, because he's just had a little comment in reply to what I said. I said, regarding this one, I said, hi Tom, fair enough, sounds good to me, it makes sense, thanks for the explanation. And then he replied, you're welcome, I always enjoy your discussions. So whether he's talking about if he watches any of my video footage, or maybe just my questions regarding what's what. Well, I'm glad you enjoy my discussions, Tom. Right, let's see the other one then, because I just did reply, and if he's replied to that, he might have something more to say. So let us see. So this is regarding hex 1118D5, and we could have really a bit of a major problem here, really. If it turns out that Tom is sticking by his guns and adamant that this is correct. Anyway, my question, to be honest, the link that I quote in my question is something slightly different, but it's the only thing I could find regarding. There's a couple of comments out there about should this be blue, should this be purple. I mean, first of all, and this is where I eventually go back to Tom with, which I'm curious to see what he says. Blue, this is a blue position. Firing in its own hex. It's not a double position. Why is there blue firing this hex? I wanted, if somebody can show me another hex on this map that's not a double or triple position, you know, it's not a position group, it's just a single position that fires in its own hex, then show me that hex. Tell me where that hex is, because I don't get me wrong, I've not studied every hex on the map, so it could be there. But why is that blue position there? And that's surely why people have thought, and it's not just me that's thought, there are a couple of comments that have thought that it must be this purple fire, because purple, it's firing one hex into there and then carrying on into there, and then it's just not doing it there, whereas red goes one into there and comes into there. Why is purple not going into there and coming into there? I mean, okay, that could be argued, and Tom gives an example, or he talks about that. But why? Okay, fair enough. If purple is not firing into there, fair enough. But why is that blue firing into there? Tell me why. So I've asked him to tell me why that. So let's just see, because he might have replied. So I'll not read all my question. It's basically that. Should this be purple? There's been a few comments about it. Should it not be purple instead of blue? Really? Tom comes back. The image presented in the discussion you cite above, which is, yeah, it was regarding it was a map that somebody had made. He says, does not match the second edition board. On that map, D5 hex 1118 is set in a dashed blue hex side position hex. Yeah, this is because of the map that because of the thread that I quoted, which is not really what I was getting at, but it's just the only reference I could find. And then the purple versus blue debate is clearly based on a map board for an older printing. Also, the discussion itself is dated April 2015. Yeah, I know it's a long time ago, but there's never been clarification of that, and there has been a couple of comments on it. I can at least find one other thread that I could point you to, and I would think there's possibly been some more, but anyway. So I said, okay, hi Tom, so are you saying that the hex is correct, as in showing steady blue and steady red fire and not purple, right? Steady red, steady blue, that's what we've got. And he comes back with, yes, it makes total sense on the second edition game map. Okay, well, he'll need to explain that a bit more to me. Not the red and not the missing purple. What he'll need to explain to me is the blue, right? The missing purple, I can understand. He's going to go on to talk about that. He says, one also has to allow for the designer's judgment as to the influence of terrain on the ineffective fire delivered to any specific target hex. That's why all positions are not uniformly surrounded one hex out by intense fire dots and steady fire dots 2 hexes out. Hope this helps. Yes, understand that. I mean, for me to say that, okay, this fires out 2 hexes, this fires out 2 hexes that way, why does it not fire out 2 hexes that way? I can understand that there's an argument to that. You've got to just assume that the designer's dealt with it that way, and because there's not 2 hexes out this way, right? But then these ones go in tens and tens. These are clear hexes. And tens, steady, into the palm trees. This one, steady, because it's into buildings, doesn't continue. You know? That to me, the terrain, I mean, what I did think was, this is what is it called? A fortified building, so in tens, maybe it doesn't fire in there, you know, possibly. But hold on here, how come red comes from that, intense into the palm trees, and then steady into the fortified? I mean, okay, these all are a bit confusing, but it could be that the designer's got reasons for that, and I understand. Okay, fair enough. Purple's not marked in that hex. If the designer's not going to come on and say, oops, that should be purple in that hex, if he's not going to come and say that, we've had an answer from Tom saying that he believes that that's how it should be. Right, but tell me why the blue's there then. So let's see if we get Let's see if I get any follow-up to that. Hang on. So, hi Tom, I said, all of what you say makes sense. What I don't understand is why there is steady blue fire in this hex. And in what case would you ever check for the steady blue fire in this hex? Oh, right, I have an answer from Martin. There's still a blue steady fire dot in D5 on the 2nd edition board, so I don't see how the dash blue hex sides solve anything. I don't know what this dash blue hex side. Is that because of the map that this guy had made? Dash blue hex size? Is that was somebody designed? If I go and click on that, is it going to show me a different map? It sounds like Martin's maybe backing things up there a little bit by saying, yeah, it's Kurt. It was Kurt's question, wasn't it? Yeah, that's the one I linked. It wasn't that one at all. I maybe talked about the other one that the guy had done a different map, but it was Kurt's question. Okay, back in 2015, but so before the errata, that doesn't mean to say it's been missed. It's just that there makes no sense to have, in my mind, I don't understand why there is blue steady fire in that hex. And that's I dare say that's why you start thinking it should be purple instead. That's not totally accurate. That's not the case. But maybe if it is, then it should just be red that's firing in there. It shouldn't be blue. You know. If anything, it could be purple. That's why we're saying that, I think. Yeah. So. Well, actually, Tom's replied to the thread that I've just linked. He's replied, the image used here does not match the 2nd edition board. On that map, hex D5, hex 1118 is set in a dashed blue hex side position hex. I don't know what that means. I know the map changed. I mean, I've got the paper map still. Can I get a look at the... Is there some images of the 2nd edition map, maybe? Well, I mean, whatever. Martin's just replied to to this thread here, saying there's still a blue steady fire dot in D5 on the 2nd edition board, so I don't see how the dash blue hex sides solve anything. So yeah, I think Martin's confused as well by why it should be blue. Yeah, I don't know. I got some images of the mounted map, and yeah, they have sort of coloured round about the hexes. I don't know what that really represents, to be honest. But it looks like it's slightly different. But like I think what Martin's saying there, that it still has the same steady blue fire in that hex, and it's surrounded by that blue. So yeah, I don't think it really answers things. Now, how do I go ahead from this? I'm afraid I'm going to have to just go ahead and treat that as purple fire. I mean, that might be that's wrong, and it could well be, but I'm certainly not treating it as... Well, I could treat it as blue fire all I want. It's just never going to do anything. I mean, in what case could this be... Could this blue steady fire, what can it possibly do? Give me an example of that. What reason is it there for? What does it achieve? If you can give me something, then fair enough. But I can't think of anything, and I'm certainly no expert within the game or within the series of the games. But I think Martin's also baffled, which makes me think. Yeah, I think he's unsure about what there should be as well. It just doesn't make sense being blue. Whether it's not purple, fair enough, then it should just be red in the hex, and that should be that. Now, the problem with that is we've resolved two things already that are suggesting that it's in purple. So I'm going to stick with it, and we'll just take note that, and who knows, we might get official confirmation about it, possibly. And that might at least resolve it. But I'll just treat it. I'm going to treat it as purple for now because I've already done that. So I've kind of got to continue with that. What it does mean is it's made it worse for me because if the purple wasn't in that hex, then this unit wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have lost the 2 engineer units. However, we did get a slightly better result with this, I suppose, but that wouldn't have happened either. Well, actually, hang on. No, things would have happened differently, wouldn't they? They would have then moved based on the first principle, no, the second part of the assault action with they wouldn't have had units in its field of fire. So this one wouldn't have came down there. This would have still happened. And I'm not really sure what would have happened with the other one. Sorry, that would have been the first one. Well, actually, hang on. He can't. 1, 2, 3. He couldn't reach there. Whereas that one could. I don't know what would have happened there then. 1, 2, 3. No. 1, 2, 3. Can't reach that either. Well, no. You know what would have happened? He would have came down to that. The same thing would have happened. Yeah, the exact same thing would have happened, wouldn't it? Because the assault action would not, they would not have had units in their field of fire, so they would have then moved closer. This one would have been able to come down here and close combat this, and then that one would have done that. Yeah. So I think we would have had the exact same result. So I've actually got time to maybe, well, again, if we were to get official confirmation that it wasn't purple, I might be able to still get away with it, because I think that would have been the same result. Right, let's get moving on with the game, because you're creeping up on an hour there, Grant, and you're not even through this fire phase. This was us resolving the R action for this. We changed this up to coastal depth position, because, yeah, I'm accepting that should be coastal. It makes sense and whatever, and maybe I'm just being a wee bit picky about the fact that you can see, I mean, all they needed to do was curve that a little and make a little bit of water to make Grant happy. Right, moving along. Well, we've got a tank here, and he's in green. Ooh. And he's got the R action. So, indeed, what is he going to do? Right, let's have a look. Right, so looking at the tank actions here on the chart, these are our R actions. So this is what this would do. It would overrun. So it would fire if US units in its field of fire. Then if at least one US unit is hit, move into hex, occupy by nearest hit unit and CC. Then reposition if necessary. See, it's all very well looking at that, but I still feel like now I need to go and look at the rule book. It's just the way it is. Does it give me a rule reference there? No. The tank stuff is on rule 13, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, so right, hang on. Right, it goes on to the next page. So fire if any US units are in the tank unit's field of fire. That's not going to be the case. So if no US units are in the tank's field of fire, no action. Okay, well, we can stop there. Okay, fair enough. And you can see that he's not got any units in his field of fire, and even member extends one hex the field of fire, but green, you know, you can fire out to here, but there's nothing. Right, so let's move on. Now we also keep our eye out for empty green position. Oh, no. Yeah, well, one of them's going to reinforce as well, Grant. Okay, well, let's look at this first, right? What comes first? We've got, well, this is a purple position for this tank, so that's fine. So what have we got down here? We've got, this is sitting in blue, which is fine. Blue's not, sorry, can I see the card? Right along with that. Blue's not on the card. And even if it was, oh no, I'll tell why, because this is in blue, isn't it? Yeah. Brown is on the card, but that's coming from there, so that's fine. Blue is not on the card, brown is coming from there. Blue again, no. and blue again. So actually, yeah, that was a good result, not getting blue, wasn't it? Okay, moving along, right, we've got this situation here. So this is going to reinforce as well, but remember we read that if there was two, positions, where are we? Jumped the gun there. If multiple hexes in a position group are eligible for the reinforced action, place a reserve unit and death marker in the lowest numbered eligible hex only. So both of them are in communication. They need to be within 2, don't they? These are coastal positions. So yeah, unoccupied. Stop, Grant. D, E, and F. Oh, well, it is D, so they are going to reinforce. Place reserve unit death marker in position in Japanese communication. Within 2 hexes of a US unit, it needs to be. You can see both of these are within 2. That hex must be movable too, from there. Or is it? Yeah, it must be. It's got a bit of land going around there and coming around there. It's just this bit of water out here, isn't it? But it is a beach hex, so I'm assuming you could cross from there to there. So, because obviously then it would be 1, 2, 3 away, but I think that's fine. I think both of these are available. So we can do both, and we're going to do the lowest number. So it's going to be D1, right? So that is going to be a coastal position as well. So I'm going to grab a coastal depth marker on D1, and then we're going to grab one of these other units. I'll just take that one. I was actually going to roll the dice on it. You know what? There's no way I know what any of them are. So, and we'll pop that on there. So that's bad. It's not immediately bad, but it's going to be bad. Right, and then moving on with the card now. So we've moved past that area. So into here. That's a Japanese unit, isn't it? So that's blue and brown, right? So we're getting fire from... Oh, we disrupted brown. Oh, that's nice, because that is a diamond, although it's a tank. Oh, that's a diamond. That would have got hit. That was a nice disruption then. That would have been taking a hit. And been disrupted as well. Because that's not revealed. One of the things I need to watch, and just try to remind myself there, that we cannot barrage inland positions unless they're revealed. So stay switched on to that one, Grant. Yeah, that's alright. This is red, isn't it? Oh, it's green. Why do I think it's red? I'm seeing the red dots. I'm seeing the red on that. Oh, no. So he's going to overrun, isn't he? So nothing apart from that, because this is in his field of fire. However, remember, it extends its field of fire by 1, so this is in his field of fire as well, but this is a headquarters. However, this is going to receive something, I think. None of the rest is bothered, because brown is not firing because it's disrupted. Blue's not firing, it's disrupted. Blue's not on the card anyway. And purple is not on the card. Right. That's the only last thing we need to do though here. These are empty, but they're not within 2. Right, but we do have this overrun tank then. Right, so I do need to get that back. Go back to that and let's have a wee read at it again. Okay. Overrun. Fire if any US units are in the tank unit's field of fire. Yeah, that's disastrous. Because it is a diamond, he's going to hit us. Damn. Right then. Okay, so fire if any US units are in the tank unit's field of fire. Right, it's going to do that. If no US units are at its field of fire, no action. Right, well, it's going to do that. If the tank fires but no US units are hit, no further action. Well, unfortunately, it is going to be hit. If the tank fires and hits one or more US units, then move into the hex occupied by the nearest such unit and conduct close combat. If hit, US units are equidistant, move to the hex occupied by the least US strength, then you choose. Right, before I read on, there is only one unit getting hit here. So let me just finish this bit off though, because I've got a habit of maybe not doing that. The tank unit may move into a non-position hex when performing this action. If it does so, use the position colour printed on the tank's counter to resolve the close combat. Well, he is actually going to be moving into a position hex, so if the tank unit survives the close combat in a non-position hex, move the unit to the nearest unoccupied position. This could be the position from which the tank unit came. If unoccupied positions are equidistant to the position closest to a US unit, then the lowest numbered position. So the tank may move into a non-position hex when performing this action. Yeah, it's not. It's okay, sorry, I had more distractions there, I got drawn away. Been on pause for quite some time. I just left the camera where it is, so we are looking at this. Yeah, tank unit may move into a non-position hex. Yeah, it's not. It's going to move into a position hex. Okay, so I think I know what we're doing. So unfortunately this is in the green position. We're looking at the R action. Oh yeah, we've got artillery as well, haven't we? Great. So if the tank fires and hits one or more US units, then move into the hex occupied by near such unit, conducts close combat, right? So he's firing, and well, he doesn't. It's not even the extended fire. That it would extend fire into there, but he's not going to be able to hit that because he would need to have the leader symbol, I believe. And he doesn't stretch the tank, and again he would need to have it. Anyway, he's hitting this. We've got a diamond on the card. It's steady green fire, and there's a diamond on the card. So he's hitting that. So H28, unfortunately, is going down. To that. So that's another one away. Now, this won't be disrupted because it is a revealed unit. So, however, he's now going to move into this hex and conduct close combat. So he's coming from here into here, and we're going to have some close combat. Well, that's the last close combat I did. Didn't put my little green cube. So that's to say where he's come from. That's to say where the, well, to be honest, we're going to move these out of here. That's to say where the combat's taking place. And of course, it is going to take place in this colour because it is a position hex. So it's red is the actual colour that's relevant here for the close combat. And we're going to have him and his depth marker. A 3 strength him and his depth marker. More than likely about to come 4 strength. You know what that means, more cards. Yeah, so we just carry out close combat here, and if we end by elimination, then he's going to reside in that hex. We're going to be gone. If it's exhaustion, he's going to go back there. We're both going to end up disrupted. Yeah, it's not good. Because we've also lost a hat. We're only getting 2 cards here. Yeah. To be honest, the fire phase was looking pretty good up until there. So, there you go. Right, I've got this flip book again for the close combat. Because, again, like I say, I don't know. I probably should need to be using it now. Because I should have it all in my head, ready to go. Right, so we've got to reveal things. Now, the fact this is a tank, it's not different, apart from the fact he's going to get an extra card for the tank. He's going to get an extra card for attacking, and, well, yeah, he's going to get lots of cards, I think. So we're going to reveal this, and indeed, it does take it above the 4. So, cards for us. Steps. 2. Engineer with a flamethrower? No. A hero? No. So 2 cards. That's all we're getting. 2 cards. This is going to have to be the luckiest close combat ever to come out with anything out of this. Right, let's count up the number of cards he's getting. So, number of units, 1. Number of depth markers, 1. So that's 2. If the Japanese are attacking, yes, that's 3. If the Japanese have 4 plus strength, yes, that's 4. No CC on them, fortunately. However, if the Japanese are a tank or a night turn, yes, so that's 5, isn't it? So 1, 2, 3, attacking's 4, tank is 5. So they're getting 5 cards. I might have drawn 1 extra there. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, we're spot on. 5. So 5 cards to our 2. What's the chances? Slim, I think. Slim to none. Okay, so then move on. Are the Japanese units disrupted? No, they are not. So they're going to go first. So I think if I'm going to have any chance at all, this first card needs to be a miss. So again, just a reminder, we are combat is in a red position hex. So red on the card. Here we go. Bang! Take that. No event. However, we take a step loss. We lose a card. That was red. It goes away. We fire back. Oh, heroism. Wow. Does that give us an extra card? I mean, I'm saying wow. I still think we're going to lose out here. Heroism. Add a card to the pile of the side revealing this card and remove a card from his enemy pile. Well, don't mind if I do. So, okay, so the events, yeah, that's good. Right, so the event happens first. We add a card. So I'm going to draw a new fresh card and I'm going to put it underneath that. Well, I'm going to put it there. And we discard the card from enemy pile. So I'm going to discard this. It was red, which is nice. And then we're going to carry out the actual close combat. We've got red. We hit him. We discard a card. Damn. Wasn't red. Ooh. Well, that could have been... That's a bit hit or miss. It could have been good for us. Could have been bad for us. Didn't have red in the card. That's his discard. And we get the depth marker. So that's gone. We'll just put that on to say the inland ones. And then that card is done. Now, I still have 1 card left. He's only got 2 cards. We have to out the depth at least. Right, so here we go. Is it red? Damn, yeah. And yet the card in between there wasn't red. If it just been the other way about, and I would have took my chances with that naval artillery. So technically we'll lose this card. It wasn't red anyway. And we take the hit. So this guy's gone. This card is left spare, so it goes back on top of the draw deck. And the tank finishes off. And this hex victorious. He's not got a depth marker anymore. So that was something, I suppose, to be honest. That was a slight bonus. He will become disrupted as well, though. And yeah, and he is in a position hex, so he's happy enough there. Yuck. So now, this position here, we've got a headquarters and a 1-step tank unit. And we've got a delayed set of reinforcements coming in because of the... What was it? Transport delayed. Yeah, okay. Right, and that's oh. When Japanese conduct close combat I know when we conduct close combat it happens at the end, but yeah, I didn't do that for the Japanese, but I do think it is different. That they conduct close combat immediately. Or does it not tell you there? So we had the overrun, and then before we had the assault action, didn't we? Where was that? Then conduct close combat. Yeah, it does say then conduct close combat. And when you're talking about the US side of things, I think it is different. I think you're meant to do it that way. Close combat occurs at 3 points in the sequence of play. This is rule 8.6 on page 18. During a landing check in the amphibious operations phase of LVT lands US units in Japanese occupied hex, those US units conduct close combat against the Japanese unit. And that happens immediately. It didn't say it there, but anyway, in the Japanese action phase, if a Japanese unit moves into US occupied hex, the Japanese unit conducts close combat against US units in the hex. And then in the close combat step of the US action phase, US infantry and engineer units in a Japanese occupied hex conduct close combat against the Japanese unit there. Right, well, none of them are saying when it happens, and yet we know for a fact that close combat in the US action phase doesn't happen until the end of the phase. So where does it tell us? Sure, it should tell us that somewhere. Right, I know that tells me that somewhere, because I know there's a difference between when we land, if we land LVT and you move inland and you land in a Japanese unit, it happens immediately, and I know that it happens. Right, hang on. US combat actions, page 15, rule 8. Conduct close combat by moving into a Japanese occupied hex. The close combat is resolved after all US actions in the phase are completed. So it says it there for that. Yeah, I'm assuming it just happens for the US action phase, in the US action phase, when the US are wanting to conduct close combat. And I think that's to stop you from doing other things and whatever. I mean, it doesn't, I don't think, unless it does say it somewhere, but I don't think it specifies when you do it in the Japanese fire phase. So I've just got to assume it happens right away. Yeah, we'll stick with that. I think that's right. I'm pretty sure that's right, but I think that could be a little clearer there. But maybe somebody could point me to the rule that sort of states it all, that makes that clear. Right. So that's everything done, isn't it? Don't tell him. No, because that's in red, isn't it? Right, because he could have lost that disruption as well if he'd moved into one of these colours, wouldn't he? However, hang on, we've got artillery to deal with. And that's the first time I've used this. And then we've got the removal of to remove disruption first before the artillery, because that means it might be relevant. Right. This as well, don't do that with the unrevealed. That's got a C, so that's not artillery position. That's got an I, that's just inland. It's got a C. See, that's light artillery. I'm gonna say, they need one heavy and 4 of any. Well, I know there's a heavy. Is it here? Yeah. So there's a heavy. There's a medium. So that's one of the 4. Oh, I didn't see that. I got away with it. Flipped over, but I got it back. There's another heavy. So that's 2 of the 4. There's 3 of the 4. And do we need to... There's 4 of the 4. So we've got a heavy and 4 of any. So we've got that. None of them are disrupted. They're occupied positions. I think that's what matters here. I'm trying to just kind of finish this quickly because it's... That last part... Just watching it back, man, that's going to put you to sleep a bit, isn't it? Part 9. Oh dear. Yeah, I'll put a wee comment in the header with that one. Yeah, it drags on and on and on, and yeah. Anyway, what am I looking for here? Artillery fire. Beginning turn 2. If you draw fire card with an artillery result, first resolve all fire by Japanese positions, then check to see if Japanese artillery fire hits a US unit. It does not occur in turn 1. Procedure: the artillery result lists the number of Japanese occupied artillery positions required in order to conduct artillery fire. The required numbers are further defined by artillery type, heavy, medium, or any. Like I say, we do satisfy the 1 heavy and 4 any. Count the number of artillery positions occupied by non-disrupted Japanese units. Count only those of the type listed on the card. If the number of the eligible Japanese artillery units equals or exceeds the required number, 1 US non-HQ unit with the target symbol shown on the fire card is hit. So, and this is where... right, sorry. Yeah, now this is where I'm starting to wonder, should I be marking things that have taken a hit? Because... Although, is there an argument to say that they can still take a second hit in this phase? No, see, this is in the Japanese fire phase still. Right, so I think anything that's taken a hit in this Japanese fire phase up to now, well, actually, Grant, has there been anything? Apart from this guy that we just wiped out. I don't think there has there? This guy's disrupted up here, but that's because we went into close combat. That last turn. Yeah. This just arrived. Yeah, okay. So I actually don't think anything has taken a hit. Oh gosh, this is a diamond. Come on, no. Mind you, I think that guy that I'm showing disrupted, there's a diamond as well. I don't think we get to pick and choose. There are some priorities. Okay. So, choose a non-HQ unit with the target symbol shown on the card to lose a step in the following priority. Yeah. In a beach approach hex. Right, well there's none of them. There's nothing in the beach approach. Which is annoying. Because we should have... And although that wouldn't be nice, it would have been one of our strong units taking a hit. I've got this fear that this guy's going to take a hit. So, if not that, in the water. Well, that would be nice if this guy was a diamond, but he's not. He is in the water. So in a beach hex. Right, and that's where... Right, that's a diamond. That's a diamond in a beach hex. Well, actually, he's not in a beach hex, is he? No. Oops. That's it. So it's him or the tank. But I don't know if I'm allowed to target the tank or not. Well, it does say choose a non-HQ unit. Right, but however, this has got 4 steps, that's got 1 step, and my guess is... Right, if you need to select from among units within one of these priorities, select the unit with the most steps. Right then, right, this guy's getting a hit. Don't think there's disruption involved here though, so there is that. Yeah, there's no mention of disruption, so... Okay. Right, that's Actually, that's not quite the fire card done. So we've got 3 colours to undisrupt. We've got to undisrupt brown, so that's coming off. Which, well, we kind of knocked that out, and then now we've got nothing here. We've got nothing. This is in red. That's staying down. This is in blue, which is also staying down, and yeah. That's that. Oh yeah, Tom did come back and admitted, well, he maybe didn't quite pick up on the whole question that I was asking, but then when he did realise that there was steady blue fire into that, he's actually come on to decide that he believes that is probably a purple fire. He's changed his tune on that because he's realised that there's no reason that should be blue fire in that hex. So it's either nothing at all or it's purple. And even he has said, yeah, I'm going to change my my decision to that probably should be purple. So good with that, and we'll just stick with that. Martin also confirmed that he felt like I dealt with this situation all right. He's not quite seen everything from that double purple position. He still believes that they should have both carried out the assault action. I think I'm accepting of that now, and we'll just move on with that one. But it was interesting to see. I think even thinking about it afterwards a little bit, once you sort of settle down and think about it, then yeah, they're doing the assault action. If something changes within, they're still going to do the assault action. If they can't do the assault action, they're not going to do a different action. But if it modifies it that they do one half of the assault action and then the other half, then why not? So yeah, we'll leave that at that. Right, I better get away because this is an hour and a half. That's the Japanese fire card dealt with. Our next phase is going to be the US action phase. And this is just, it's looking kind of horrible, isn't it? I mean, there's nothing here. There's a little bit going on here. There's quite a lot along here. There's nothing here. There's nothing coming in. I mean, we just got to hang on, I suppose. I don't know what we're doing. We can't even do anything down here now. I mean, I can attempt to barrage that again. That's all I can do down there, I think. Because I can't make an attack. I've not got any infantry units. Right, anyway, we'll work that out when we come back, Grant. Let's not make this video any longer than it is. Okay, I'll be back later. Yeah, I should still get another bit done tonight. We'll see. Cheers.